5 Forbidden Lovers of Dracula. What if Dracula's darkest secrets weren't his castles, his rituals, or even his thirst for blood, but his forbidden lovers? Behind the shadows of his immortal reign lie whispers of passion affairs hidden from both history and the church. These were not ordinary romances. They were scandals that defied faith, loyalty, and even the boundary between life and death. Tonight, we'll peel back the veil on 5 forbidden lovers of Dracula, more dangerous, more intoxicating, and more cursed than the last. But beware. Desire in Dracula's world never ends in love. Lover number 1. The nun who broke her vows, she was cloaked in purity. Her life sworn to God, her soul promised to prayer and silence. Yet when Dracula's shadow crept into the convent, temptation took form not as sin, but as salvation. The young nun was drawn to him not by fear, but by a hunger she had never known. His eyes offered eternity. His voice whispered liberation from her vows. In the candlelit halls of the abbey, where hymns once echoed, secret meetings unfolded. Her lips that once kissed the crucifix now pressed against a creature of darkness. For Dracula, she was not just a lover, but a symbol of conquest, corruption of the sacred. He reveled in the irony, a bride of Christ reborn as a bride of the night. Some say her fall brought curses upon the convent, that sisters awoke to find her habit soaked in crimson, her prayers replaced with screams. Others insist she was never seen again, vanishing into Dracula's crypt, as though the church itself had erased her from memory. But the truth lingers in whispers. Her soul was never saved, nor fully damned. She became the eternal secret, a nun who broke her vows for forbidden love. Lover number 2. The enemy's wife. She was the jewel of a rival lord, a woman bound by marriage, but trapped in loveless duty. When Dracula first met her, it was not with the blade, but with a glance and unspoken challenge to loyalty itself. She belonged to his sworn enemy, yet in the secrecy of twilight, she surrendered not to her husband's power, but to Dracula's forbidden embrace. Every encounter was a betrayal written in blood, while her husband plotted war. She offered her heart and, sometimes her throat to the count. Their affair was a dangerous game, passion laced with treachery. She knew that if discovered, her fate would be death by fire or blade. But the pull of Dracula's presence was stronger than fear itself. Legends claim that when her husband learned the truth, he raised an army to storm Dracula's fortress. But the Count, ever cunning, used her betrayal as a weapon. Some say he left her alive to face her husband's wrath. Others whisper she willingly chose eternal night, asking Dracula to turn her before the flames of revenge consumed her. In the chronicles of Dracula's lovers, none were more dangerous than the enemy's wife, her passion igniting war, her betrayal sealing kingdoms in blood. Lover number 3. The sorceress of the Black Forest, deep in the mist-shrouded woods of Transylvania. She waited in. Enchantress whispered about in fearful tones. A woman said to command spirits and bind men's souls with a glance. Dracula did not stumble upon her by chance. Some say she summoned him, others that fate itself desired their union. She was no fragile maiden, but a sorceress who saw in Dracula not just a monster, but a mirror of her own hunger for power. Their bond was more than passionate, was an alliance of shadows. Together, they performed rites beneath the blood moon, weaving spells with forbidden herbs and human sacrifice. She taught him incantations that made his grip on the mortal world stronger, while he gave her protection from those who hunted witches. Yet theirs was no gentle love. It was a constant struggle, a game of domination where kisses often ended in scars. Legends whisper that she tried to bind him forever with her magic, crafting a charm to enslave the Count himself. But Dracula, cunning and ruthless, turned her enchantment back upon her. Some claim she vanished into the forest, her spirit still roaming as a wraith, cursing his name. Others believe he sealed her in a coffin of silver, ensuring their dark romance would remain eternal and unbroken. Lover number 4, the captive princess. She was royalty. Fragile rose taken from a distant kingdom and locked away in Dracula's fortress as a prize of war. To the outside world, she was a prisoner, her beauty chained, her crown stripped. But behind the iron doors, a far darker tale unfolded. Dracula did not seek her ransom. He sought her devotion. At first, she resisted. Her prayers were for rescue, her tears for freedom. Yet, in the long, endless nights, fear transformed into fascination. Dracula, with his unearthly charm, wove promises of eternity, whispering that her gilded cage could become a throne of immortal power. Slowly, she yielded not out of love, but from a dangerous cocktail of desperation, desire, and the intoxicating pull of his gaze. Some say she bore him not only affection, but a child, a cursed heir hidden from history. Others insist she died in sorrow, her body found pale and lifeless, drained of hope. Yet the most haunting version claims she willingly embraced undeath, trading her crown of gold for one of blood. The captive princess remains one of Dracula's most tragic lovers, her story, a reminder that even nobility could not resist the shackles of forbidden desire. Lover number 5, the bride beyond the grave. Before castles drowned in blood and kingdoms feared his name, Dracula once loved a woman as mortal as any other. She was said to be his bride, gentle, radiant, and loyal. But death claimed her too soon, ripped away by fate or by the hands of his enemies. For most men, grief ends with the grave. For Dracula, it was only the beginning. Unable to let her go, he returned night after night to the cemetery where she lay. Legends whisper that he clawed open her coffin, pressing his lips to hers, cold and lifeless, whispering promises that death itself could not break. Some claim he used forbidden rituals to summon her spirit, binding her soul to him through blood. Others insist he raised her from the dead, not as the woman she once was, but as a shadow of memory, a pale bride who walked only when the moon was full. This love was not tender, but obsessive. His refusal to surrender her became the darkest testament of his heart, that even death could not sever his passion. The bride beyond the grave was Dracula's forbidden lover, eternal proof that his desires were chained not to time, nor life, but to the abyss itself. From the nun who broke her vows, to the bride who rose beyond the grave, Dracula's forbidden lovers reveal a side of the Count more haunting than his thirst for blood, his hunger for desire, obsession, and power. Each romance was a curse, each passion a shadow that twisted fate itself. These stories remind us that love, in Dracula's world, was never pure. It was dangerous, tragic, and eternal. If these tales of forbidden passion and darkness intrigued you, don't let the story end here. Join us for more secrets of history's darkest legends. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into Dracula's forbidden loves, remember to like, subscribe, and share to keep the shadows alive.